Audacity is a free and powerful piece of software that you can use to record your voice, edit it, apply some extra effects, maybe add some music, some sound effects, and then export so you can share or use it in other pieces of software. Let's get going. The first step is to download, install, and open Audacity by going to audacityteam.org. For this reference, I'm using version 2.4.1. I like this software because it works on Macs, PCs, and Linux operating system. The first thing we want to do is select our microphone. I'm going to come to this drop down and look for my microphone, which is the Samson CO3U. If your microphone doesn't appear, then close Audacity and open it up again. If it still does not appear, make sure that your microphone's plugged in and go back and repeat the previous step. You may need to restart your computer or unplug and replug your microphone. The next thing we need to do is adjust the sensitivity of the microphone. So I'm going to click with a left click to start monitoring. And this is going to show you when I am speaking how loud are my levels. Without speaking, I want that green to barely register, and when I am speaking, I'd like it to come somewhere between about -30 and -12, somewhere in there. I definitely don't want to be in the yellow, and I absolutely don't want to be in the red. So what we're going to do is come up here to the sensitivity knob. And I can take this and come all the way up and make it the most sensitive, but if I'm quiet, you're going to see it's going to pick up a lot of background noise. That's unacceptable. So what I want to do is slowly take it down while I'm not talking until the green just barely goes away. Perfect. And now I can see when I'm speaking, I'm in the green right about where I want to be. Let's go ahead and record just a little bit of audio. So I'm going to come up and click on the red dot. I'm going to wait a couple seconds and then start. After years of debate, the controversy continues. Why did that darn chicken cross the road? To get to the other side? Don't be so sure. Here are some of the reasons given by some of the most influential thinkers of the day. Anderson Cooper from CNN says, "We have reason to believe that a chicken just crossed the road, but we have not yet been allowed to access to the other side of the road to verify this information." Dr. Seuss, "Did the chicken cross the road? Did he cross it with a toad? Yes, the chicken crossed the road, but whether it was alone, it is totally unknown." Ernest Hemingway, "Why but to die in the rain alone?" Grandpa, "In my day, we didn't ask why the chicken crossed the road. Somebody told us the chicken crossed the road, and that was good enough." Einstein, "Did the chicken really cross the road, or did the road move beneath the chicken?" Me, "To get to the other side." And then when I'm done recording, I'm just going to go ahead and hit stop. Now, that recording right there, hey, it's pretty good. And if we wanted to go back and listen to it, we're going to click the go back to start. We will push the green arrow, or we could push the space bar, and you're going to see this follow along, and that's going to... After years of debate, the controversy... You're going to be able to see what you recorded. All right, now right here, we can be done. We're going to go up to File, Save Project. So let's just call this Chicken Time. But just because I've saved doesn't mean I can do anything with that file. When we're talking about audio and video creation, there's a difference between saving and exporting. So if I want this file to be able to be heard by somebody else, I need to export. File, Export, Export as WAV. And right now, that's 1 gold star. I'm going to save this as Kaplan version 1. You can stop right there. You are absolutely fine. You have earned 1 gold star. That is good enough. But if you heard in that recording, I did make a couple of mistakes. You could hear me clearing my voice. You could also hear the rustle of the paper. So I think what would be nice to do is to get 2 gold stars, which is, let's go back and delete just a few things. Let's make this just a little bit easier to see and identify where's their noise and where's my voice. So I'm going to come over here to this section. I am going to right click and switch this over to dB. It's just a personal preference. I like to be able to see the WAV files a little bit easier. The second thing is this is only showing 13 seconds worth of audio, and I'd like to be able to see the whole thing. So I can zoom in or I can zoom out. The other option is I can come up to View, Track Size, Fit to Width, and that's going to put the whole thing in there. Repeat, View, Track Size, fit to height. Now I have my entire project in there. What do I like to do? I'd like to erase some audio. I'm going to use the selection tool. Think of the selection tool of kind of like your cursor. I know I just said I wanted to zoom out, but now I'd like to zoom back in. And I'm going to select my cursor. I'm going to put it on here. Push play or spacebar. And so now I have identified that all of this is garbage. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. I've highlighted, click and drag, just like you're highlighted in Microsoft Word. There are many ways to delete. You could use backspace, you could hit delete. I want to get rid of that rustling of the paper. And the second thing is I think 5 people is too many famous people to hear from about why did the chicken cross the road. I want to go in and get rid of 2 of those other ones. What am I going to do? I'm going to use my selection tool. I'm going to highlight what I don't want and hit delete. All right, you watch along. I'm going to do it real quick. I'm probably going to speed this up so it's a little bit easier to watch. All right, so right here, we've got a little bit of Ernest Hemingway. I don't really want to have him in there. I think it ends just about right there. So I'm going to highlight, click delete, put my cursor back where it needs to go, spacebar to push play. Ooh, I've got a little extra noise right there, so let's get rid of that. I'm going to hit delete and keep going. I'm also going to try to get rid of Einstein. So I think I've deleted everything that I want to delete. Let's go ahead and take a look at the entire thing. All right, now I'm at about 45 seconds. I kind of like it. I'm going to delete just a little bit of this out at the front. And at this point, I could be done. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come up and hit File, Save Project, because we always want to be saving. But saving and exporting is different. If I want to share this file with somebody else, I need to come up to File, Export, Export as Wave, and this time I'm going to save this as Kaplan version 2. And right there, you've earned 2 gold stars. I actually think for a lot of us, that's exactly where we could stay. I'd really like to see everybody get to 3 gold stars. And so we're going to do 2 additional features. The first one is we're going to split it into individual pieces so we can insert some extra spaces. So I'd like to put 2 seconds in between each of the famous people speaking. So let me find where the first person speaks. Right here we have Anderson Cooper. I'm going to use my selection tool. I'm going to put it right there because I'd like a little pause between there. I would like to insert some sound. So after I use the selection tool, I am going to come up to Edit, Clip Boundaries, Split. Edit, Clip Boundaries, Split. And all that's going to do is allow me to then use the Move tool and just move this down a little bit. So I might have some nice pauses in there. Maybe I wasn't pausing when I was speaking. Let me find the next section. All right, right there. I'm going to get rid of that little breath sound. I'm going to insert my cursor. I want to split that track again. Edit, Clip Boundaries, Split, or the shortcut Control-I. I want to move it so I have an extra second or so in between there. And let's find where my grandpa comes in and says something. He's probably right about here. It is totally unknown. Grandpa. Insert. I want to split, edit, clip boundaries, split, or Control-I. I'm going to use the Move tool, move it down just a little bit. All right, so now this would allow us to take this info and increase spaces, or even, what if I wanted Anderson Cooper to go last and my grandpa to go first? I could use that Move tool to make that happen. The final element that we're going to use to achieve 3 stars is to apply noise reduction, a compressor, and to normalize the audio. What does all of that mean? Doesn't matter because this is a basics course. I just want you to repeat after me. So noise reduction. We're going to come up to this very first part of the audio where we had that white noise all the way at the beginning. So there's essentially nothing else going on because I was quiet. And we want to tell the computer, hey computer, this is what noise looks like. Highlight that audio, effect, noise reduction, and say get noise profile. All right, now we're going to click on the entire audio, double click. We have highlighted all the audio, and now we need to effect, noise reduction, 1263, all of those are in the notes. And now we want to say, okay, go ahead, and if you hear that noise, computer, get rid of that noise for us, and there'd be a slight change. The next thing, we're going to compress, highlight all of the audio, double click, effect, compressor. And in here, on your worksheet, you'll be able to see which settings you need to do. Hit OK. Now, you might do this and then listen to it. After years of debate, the controversy continued. And it should make it just a little bit louder. But if it looks or sounds terrible, then undo. Edit, undo. Just like in Microsoft Word, if you were to undo, Control-Z, undo here, same thing. Final part is the normalization. Double click, effect, normalize, check, check, uncheck, -1.5. It's in your worksheet, and hit OK. There you go. All right, we're done. We want those 3 gold stars. What do? File, save project. We should always save. But if we want to be able to share this with people, we need to export. There it is. All right, so let me go ahead and export. We're going to call this Kaplan version 3. 3 gold stars. The final piece, if we want to get 4 gold stars, we're going to need to add some extra audio. So for this, the first thing I want to add is a sound effect, maybe like a chicken. So I'm going to go File, Import, Audio. And I've got a chicken right here. Let's just go ahead and add this chicken and hit open. Well, where did that chicken go? I can't really see it. So I'm going to come up to View, Track Size, Fit to Height. And if I push play, and you know what I'm thinking? I'd really like just to happen that sound all the way at the end. So I'm going to use the time shift or the move tool. I'm going to come down and click on that piece of audio and move it to where I want it. And I think I want it all the way down there. Just a nice way to end. Let's hit save, just for fun. All right, we just saved. Now, if we go and we think, what else could we do, the final piece? I think just a little bit of music in the background would be good. So File, Import, Audio. And I've got this piece of music right here. It's hard to see it, so let's view it just a little bit better. View, track size, fit to height. And the first thing that I notice is that that music is way too long. So let's go ahead and, I don't know, let's just get rid of some of this music right there. Let's just highlight and delete. Let's make this easier to see. View, track size, fit to width. There we go. So let's push play all the way at the beginning and see what we have. All right, I'm liking that music. The problem is that music is definitely way too loud. So what do I need to do? I'm going to use this tool up here called the envelope tool. I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to come down to my audio. I'm going to left click and hold, and it's going to allow me to drag down to make it quieter. It's a little hard to see. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shrink these tracks for just a second. Make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And let's push play. I still think that's a little too loud, so I'm going to go back to where I put those 2 little dots, and I want to shrink it down a little bit lower. I like that. So see right here, let me zoom in. See how I've got that gap in the audio? If I came here and I put some extra little dots in here, I could actually raise that music back up for a second and then have it go back down. So let's put it back in. Let's see how it sounds. Ooh, that was a little rough. That came out real fast. So I'm going to make that peak go a little bit slower. All right, that sounds pretty good. And then the final thing that we need is let's just fade this music out all the way at the end so that it just doesn't abruptly stop. So I'm going to put 1 final dot in there, 1 dot all the way at the end, and take it all the way down to nothingness. There we go. What do we want to do? We need to file save because we're always saving, but just because we save doesn't mean anybody can listen to it. So what do we need to do? Export. I know you were thinking that. I don't even know why I'm repeating it. So we have file, export. We're going to come down. And you know what, people? Do you know what this means? Do you know what we just got? I know. Are you excited? I'm excited. That's 4 gold stars. 4 gold stars. What's your next step? Take your instructions, take the script that I gave you, walk through step by step, get 1 gold star, be proud of that, be happy with that, and then decide, do I want to go for 2 gold stars? Do I want to go for 3 gold stars and 4? Maybe you let that be a future state. Do you want to get 5 gold stars? Yes, there's a way, but that's not what we're doing today because today is about the basics. All right, people, if you have questions, let me know. Today was just a brief tutorial and introduction. Now we can take that file. You know what we should do? Why don't we take that file and put it into a PowerPoint? And then we have this nice, perfect voiceover. Let me know if you have questions. Suerte.